Now, thousands of people turn to crowdfunding platform Givealittle every year to raise money to cover their health needs, and it's prompted a warning from the insurance industry. The latest report shows there was 33.1 million donated in the year to June, of which 23.6 went to individuals. There were 11,100 pages set up in the year, and the clear majority was health reasons, coming in at just over 2,400. Givealittle says the number of health-related pages has kind of remained consistent over the past 2 years with little change in those numbers. But health causes raised 15 million in the most recent year, and that includes direct treatment or living expenses and other costs related to the health conditions. However, Kirk Hope, you'll know Kirk Hope, he's semi-regular here on the platform. He's the Chief Executive of the Financial Services Council, which represents health and life insurance. He says Givealittle was sometimes used in cases that could have been covered by insurance. He says what we've seen with the economic downturn is people not really assessing risk. They're saying we can't afford certain things, and they might say that health insurance, for example, is discretionary, and then they have to rely on things like Givealittle for support. It might be a fair call there, Mr. Hope, but to me, have you seen how much it costs monthly for health insurance? To me, it is. I would love to be able to afford it, but it is, as you would expect, the premiums are very, very high. And when you are trying to go through your bills and say what's giving, sadly, it can be that. And then we step into Givealittle. Givealittle Chief Executive is Lythan Chapman, and she joins me now. Hello, Lythan.
Hello there, Leah. How are you?
I am great. Now, did I say it right? I hear it's a great Welsh name, is it?
It's a great Welsh name, and you pronounced it perfectly. It's Lythan.
Lythan. I love it, Lythan. Sorry, that was my husband's Welsh, so I do that. I try and do that little hello then up and down like this, you know.
That's okay. You sound like my dad.
That's good. All right, Lythan, before we get into people turning to Givealittle for health needs, can you tell us a little bit about the company? Do you know when it started, how long it's been going?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible story. I've very proudly only been the CEO for the last 7-8 weeks, but Givealittle has been around for the last 16 years. It started in 2008 with actually a really simple but very powerful idea. It was really creating a place where people could come together to help one another and to make that help easy so that anyone in New Zealand could extend that helping hand to someone in need. And we've just seen it grow and grow and grow to the point that beginning of this month, we just went over 300 million in total donations. So wow. It's been an incredible story of, the generosity of New Zealanders helping each other.
Jeez. And I have to say, Lythan, I mean, I knew it'd been around a while, but I wouldn't have never guessed 16 years. For some reason, I thought maybe touching 10, but my gosh. Are there rules, meaning can all ages have a Givealittle page? I mean, can, little Johnny go on at 5 and say, I would like to have, because I want a new toy?
Yes, little Johnny can go and do that. Of course, if you are a child, if you are under 18, there are certain rules. So as much as we would like to support little Johnny in his toy endeavours, he does need mum and dad to support him, and certainly if money is going to be paid out, then it has to be into an adult's bank account. So yes, anyone can have a Givealittle page. There are just some rules about how we pay that money out.
Right. Okay. Are there some things you can't ask for money-wise?
Look, we're a really neutral platform, and we take great pride in preserving that neutrality. But obviously, there are rules. We can't have people coming onto the platform and asking for money to pursue illegal activities.
Sure.
We can't have coming on and maybe infringing someone's legal protections, maybe IP-related things like that, or anything that's sort of defamatory. Obviously, we wouldn't allow those kinds of things on Givealittle. But other than that, it's a very wide and encompassing platform. And as I said, provided it's not illegal and doesn't breach any of the terms and conditions, we're happy for people to have a platform to raise money. And we rely on actually the common sense of everyday New Zealanders to decide whether or not it's something which they would like to donate to.
Is there a time limit? Meaning, how long can your kind of pledge run for if I put one up there?
Yeah, normally it's about 12 months. There's no real hard and fast. So if somebody says, look, we're doing so well, can we please extend that 12-month period? The answer is almost definitely going to be yes. But the reality is that most pages, those funds start coming in relatively quickly. So if something's going to take off, it usually takes off within the first week or two. So they've usually reached that amount that they were hoping to achieve relatively quickly. But otherwise, 12 months, absolutely no problem. And if you're an organisation or a charity or a school, then you can set up your page and it runs for as long as you'd like it to run for. So there's only really limits around to the individual fundraising.
I got to ask this, is there stigma to people asking complete strangers for money?
That's a really, really good question. I think, and I was asking about that very question recently with the team. And I think if you'd asked that question maybe a couple of years ago, there might have been some hesitation and some sort of a feeling of a stigma being attached to you because you're asking for help from your friends and your family and strangers. But what we've seen is that actually that perception has perhaps changed over time, and I think people are increasingly comfortable using platforms like Givealittle. I think it's that sort of, it's the nature of Kiwis. I think, part of what makes this country so incredible is that we rally around each other, and we like to support people, we like to support communities, we like to support people when they've got a genuine need. And what Givealittle does is sort of normalise that sort of crowdfunding, and it's enabling that sort of acts of kindness that I think resonates with New Zealanders.
Because I remember about 6 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago, one of our dogs, and I asked that question about the stigma of it. She has since died, but and only last year, by the way. But about 7 years ago, she got diagnosed with a very big lump. It was cancer. And we weren't willing to put her down, so we went through, chemo with her and operations, and all up it was about 16,000. And I mentioned in passing, I'd said to my husband, "Should we do a Givealittle page? Put up. She's such a lovely, good dog, good girl. Put up a picture." And he's like, "No, we're not asking complete strangers, for money for our dog." And I thought, oh, okay, never did. But that's right. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if there is. And you're right, maybe as time's gone on and we've gone through, such a hard time the last couple of years, longer, and people really are struggling, why not, Why not ask?
Yeah, I think that's, if actually causes related to animals are our number 3 most popular type of page on Givealittle. So you'd have probably done very well.
Probably would have got some money, yeah.
Very well have got money, but I think what we're tapping into is yes, I do appreciate that not everybody feels comfortable putting up a page on Givealittle to help support whatever their need is. But I think the reason why Givealittle has been so successful is that we are a country that is built on kindness and generosity and willingness to help. So I think once you tap into that, I think that sort of that fear is quickly overridden by just that sense of love and support that is generated through the site as well.